Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Hairymuppet. Welcome back to Factory Town. And as you might be able to see from what's on the screen in front of you, I have been very busy. This was actually accidental. I didn't mean to show this at the start, but anyway, it's pretty cool. So what I've actually done here is I've got a so I got all the research done. So if we go to the school, you can see everything's done. There's no new research. I think I need to build the Omni Temple before the infinite research starts showing up. But I haven't built that yet because that's a pain in the ass. So, but I have done some other stuff. So the purple, you can move the temples once you get the temple research. So I've moved the purple and the water from over where they were around here. I've created a new red and yellow because I need to keep the other red and yellow over there, because they're used to make magic. Red is used to make magic rails, and yellow is used to make magic conveyor belts. So I'll repurpose those temples when I set up a proper setup for those, which we kind of got magic conveyor belts already set up. It probably could be improved. Magic rails I haven't got yet, because I've just been like, I realized there's no point. We just put more minecarts down and then it's fine. So, but yeah, maybe at some point I'll do something like that. So yeah, this is my setup. So let's have a bit of a look in it. Actually, let's press the N key. So all of these are using depleted. I didn't bother with the Omni Planters and the Earth Shrine, because I was like, you're not going to need a lot of these. Like, how many Omni Stones do you really need? Or how many of these stones do you really need? Not a lot. This is basically for Omni Stones, which is really just infinite research. And also the individual stones, but they'll just be used for power. So I'll just need to take X amount every now and then, but I won't need to have a continuous supply of them going on. So yeah, so this is basically the setup. So you got 25 air stones on a mine, 25 coal. I could have put a forest here, but I like the fact that it's underground and not taking up any more space, because if you had a lumber mill here, you'd have to put trees over there. It's a bit annoying. So coal is fine. And then mana shards. And as you can see, even though I'm sort of backed up and they're not being used quite a bit, half of these are probably still depleted. More than half of these are about half. So they take a long time to come back, these guys do. A very long time. I mean, I think we did the test last time, and mana shards and the stones, the elemental stones, were some of the slowest. Not as slow as gold, but definitely faster than everything else. Coal has no problem. Coal is regenerating very nicely. So, so not giving these guys pickaxes, not doing anything, just sort of shoving them through. And then we got a basic setup of elemental refinery, max barn, temple, max barn again. This one's still backing up, and this one's still backing up. But these two are full because, of course, I took the contents of the barns when they were made over here. But I didn't scratch the contents of these barns over here, which have filled up. This one's filled up. This one's not filled up. What are you guys doing? What are you doing? Oh, there. I told him to transfer from this crate, because this was my intermediate crate, but I don't need this anymore. Used to got 20. These guys are not doing anything because this thing's completely full. That's fine. Haven't really messed with anything up here too much, and haven't really messed with a lot. So I've got this set up. I had a little crappy setup over here to produce the stones, which I think I showed you last time, but now we got a proper setup. And I guess this might go with infinite research, but the problem is if I put the Omni Temple here, I think the Omni Temple requires these, which is good, but then it requires a bunch of other things like the wool coats, couple of other things, and I don't really have room to produce them here in this area, so maybe this is not a good place for infinite research, but I might be able to squeeze it in. I got a very decent amount of space over here, so I could get some of them built over there, then just put a couple of conveyor belts over the train line. Maybe under the train. I could do under the train line as well if I... No, under the train line is underwater. Okay, so I can't do that. Cannot do that. But anyway, in other news, I've also been working on stuff here. So this is the enchanted books, which were already there before. So that's fine. I duplicated this and added a little bit extra. So now this is producing purple books. So this is my way of dealing with the a crappy purple coin situation. So I got these working, and that was beautiful. Now I did some later calculations, and I figured out that each book costs 10 yellow coins to make. It's something like, so this, the Forester, 2 yellow coins per paper is how I figure it. And this takes 4 papers, so that's 8 yellow coins, plus another 2 here for this thing. So 10 yellow coins per book. It's pretty hairy. Luckily they don't double later on. But yeah, so anyway, each of these was costing me 10, and each of these was costing me 10. And they were nice for purple coins, but my yellow actually started to go backwards after I put in the purple books. So what I did was I put in the yellow books, the stamina books. These are worth 40. Obviously, they still cost 10 to make because they're still books. So they cost 10 to make, but they're worth 40. So that has put my yellow coins into the into the black. Once again, they are rising. Don't ask me why I got so many wagons. It's actually, I screwed up the system. I forgot to put the thing over here. God, it's a long way away. I forgot to put the directional thing for the stamina books over here. So I had like 10 stamina mine carts just going round and round the middle for like, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. And then I was back here and I'm like, oh man, we're running out of carts. I better add more. Oh, we're running out of carts. I better add more. And there's like 20 carts on this system right now. And as you can see, there's a lot backed up now that I've got the system fully working. But these are on only 20 seconds. The purples are on 25, but I put the yellow ones on 20 because I wanted this to recover a bit more. And as you can see, it's a little bit more full. But still struggling. So how many we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we got 13 goods total. So technically we should be at 1,300, but of course we're not because I haven't messed with any of the other goods since we went up to 100 houses. All I've really done is I've tweaked the books a little bit. Tweaked the books. These ones have fallen apart because we're just not getting enough stuff coming in. For some reason, leather is backed up on this one and not this one. I don't understand. The paper is coming in at the same rate. I think there was some reason for it, but I can't remember exactly. But I think because I added this after I added this, so this paper was always full. Well, I don't know. Maybe there were. Don't ask me why. I do not know. But anyway, this is having problems here. I'm not going to expand it now because if we go down the infinite research path, then we are going to increase the productivity of all these buildings by a fair amount, and then I can just put down magic conveyor belts and maybe everything will just work out. So that's what I'm hoping anyway. Yeah, so that's pretty much where I'm at the moment. I've got all the research done. I'd like to think about the infinite research because of course there's no harm in doing it, in doing the infinite research. Oh, we're actually full on this. I could probably put down an Omni Temple. See, it takes 200 of these bloody coins. That's insane. But I'm sort of over the Omni Planters at this point, even with the Earth Shrine. I think I've just got to go for depleted under the ground. And if it's a problem with gold ore, then I'll just build multiple mines. I'll just have 4 mines all feeding into the one forge. Because, you know, whatever. We need an extremely small amount of gold. So I really don't give a crap. I'm just going to use the depleted ones, and that'll be fine. So yeah, that's pretty much it. What is my next step? I guess the next step is I did say I was going to get rails up, but again, I'm not. Okay, so let's think about this for a sec. So if we have, so we got the carts moving around. Now let's say that Magic Rail doubles the speed, because I think that's probably what's going to happen. And in fact, I think these are running at 2 per second. So it goes over 2 tiles per second, which is the same as a metal conveyor belt. Because they're definitely running faster than a cloth conveyor belt. So I'd say they're probably metal. And then if we go to magic rail, it'll probably be like magic conveyor belt. So 4, they go over 4 tiles a second or something. Maybe we should test that, because I have a feeling they're actually going faster than 2 per second. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this. And then we're going to get a worker. Bunch of workers. They're going faster. They're definitely going faster. Okay, magic conveyor belts. Okay. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they're going exactly the same speed as the magic conveyor belt. Okay, okay. Well, I was incorrect. I will stand corrected. That is, yeah, that is perfectly lined up. That is flawlessly lined up. I mean, you can just tell when the cart goes by and the wood's going by, they have matched their speed. So this guy is going 4 tiles a second, which means that magic can only, I mean, the magic rails can only go, all right, you guys go away. Go away. Was there another one of you? Go away. Oh, look at this poor idiot. Go away. Yeah, I guess you don't see the speed as much when it's on a conveyor, as when it's on a rail as much as a conveyor, but they're definitely doing 4 per second. So that's very impressive. Now, here's the question, and this is a bit of a non-intuitive question, but if you increase the speed of the rails, can you fit more capacity on? Can you increase the capacity of the system? And this is interesting because I'm going to say no, but we're going to delve into it a little bit. Because you think about this, right? The capacity of this is 4 items. We can increase that to a magic conveyor belt. It's still going to be 4 items. The speed at which it transfers from here over to here is definitely bigger though with the magic conveyor belt. So maybe the capacity of the rail network doesn't matter. Maybe that's what I should be thinking. Maybe it's just the speed. The speed. Okay, I think I figured it out. So here's the thing, right? The capacity of the rail network is going to be the same whether it's magic rails or not. And since I can just increase mine carts instead of upgrading the rails, then all I need to do to increase the speed is to increase the mine carts. However, what you have to take into account is even though the capacity of the rail network is the same, regardless of the rails, the speed will be double when we're using magic rails. And since the speed is double, we only need half the mine carts to deliver the same amount of goods. And remember, we're measuring the system based on the speed at which we can deliver goods. We need to deliver these goods to the markets. So double speed means half the mine carts, which means we can actually double our capacity using magic rails with the same amount of carts. So the same amount of carts in both systems actually doubles our capacity. Well, it's that doesn't make sense when I say it like that, but we are doubling our capacity because each minecart is worth more, I suppose. Each minecart gives us more value, so we don't want to just look at say, oh, there's 100 rails, so we've got a capacity of 2,000. That kind of makes sense, but we got to take speed into account. So, yeah, so I think it does increase the capacity, but it doesn't. It doesn't increase the total amount of goods that can be on the the rail network at the same time. But capacity has two different meanings. Capacity is the total amount of items that can be on the rail system at once, and capacity is also the total amount of items that can be transferred across the rail network. So they're stored on the rail network and transferred using the rail network. And while the capacity on the rail network doesn't increase, the amount of items that can be transferred increases when you increase the speed. So we can get twice as much done with the same amount of carts, which means that we can then, we can do basically twice as much when the rails are upgraded. And I'm not sure, I mean, we're doing 11 goods, like 11, 12, 13, and we're not even full on those. And looking at the amount of carts going around, I can see us having capacity problems. Because you think about the amount of carts we got on the rail network, multiply them by 5. Multiply the sheer amount of carts. Look at all these. Look at all these carts. Multiply them all by 5. We might have backup problems. But if you multiply the carts by 2.5, I'm holding up 3 fingers, but it's 2.5, then I think we can reasonably accommodate that many carts. 2.5 still might be a little bit squishy, but that's fine. And 2.5 is all we need, because we upgrade everything to magic rails, or at least everything in the middle. Everything in the center circle absolutely needs to be 2.5. Maybe the outliers, we can just ignore them, but 2.5, because that's all we need. We need 5 times as many goods, but then we can halve it because we're going to 2.5 carts. So that's okay. A much bigger concern is going to be the workers, because we're doing, like I said, we need to do 5 times as many goods as we're currently doing, and we're already using 522 people. So this is going to be a severe problem. So we have to go around to a lot of people. I don't think there's a lot of places where I got 5 workers, but there's probably a decent amount of them. I think I reduced them. So we're going to have to go around, and we're going to have a really hard look. Like you are 5 workers. You do not need to be 5 workers. Well, you probably do, but we're not going to be using up a ton of these forges. So there we go. We just saved 16, 17, 18 workers right there. But I think what we need to do as a rough plan is to get to the point where our productivity research is through the roof, is completely over the top, completely out of all sight and mind. It's completely nuts, basically. That's what we have to do. We have to push that as far as we can, just absolutely go nuts. We have to get to the point where no matter what the situation is, one worker in a building will get the job done. And we also have to get to the situation where we only need one. Like, can we do this with one farm? That's the question I really want to ask. And you got to remember, okay, so now I know what you're saying. You're saying that throughput is going to be a problem. But you got to remember, so we can do stuff like this. Let's say we have a farm, and then we have a, what is this? A farm goes into a workshop. So I'm going to show you something here, which is really awesome. So, workshop. So let's say we're doing it. Let's say this is producing cloth, and this is producing grain. No, cotton. Well, it doesn't really matter. But anyway, so this is producing cotton and water. I'm not sure it really matters. Now, I got a 1-to-1 ratio coming out here. So that's fine. And then we've got another workshop over here. And you are doing shirts. So you're a 2-to-1. So you need, so basically what we're going to do is I'm going to pretend these are magics. I'm going to use metal here, but I'm going to pretend they're magics. So what we figure out is that let's go for the maximum inputs and outputs that we can. So this guy is a 2 to 1. So for every 1 output, he needs 2 inputs. This guy's a 1 to 1. So for every 1 input, he needs 1 output. Okay. So here we go. What we're going to do is that, and we're going to have 3 outputs of this building. And you got to remember that when you have a grabber, it will pull it out no matter where you are. Okay, so now you're saying the workshop requires 2, but only outputs 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to, we can do multiple things here. I'm going to put wooden pillar scaffolds here, and then I'm going to put things on top of them. And we could also go around. Remember, we can still use the sides of the building. So we could put whatever we want here. So there we go, 3, 3. So now this one's got 6 outputs. And imagine these are all magic conveyor belts. And we can probably make this closer as well. So this has got 6 outputs going into this. So it's got 6 inputs and then 3 outputs. And imagine we do the same thing here. So, and then what we can do as well, I'm not sure, I don't think we can go up 3. I think we did that experiment before. Or we could go up 3, but we can't go up to 4. Maybe that was it. So we can do another level. So that's 9. Let's just say for argument's sake, 6 magic conveyor belts. That's 24 items a second. And we do another 3 out of here, take them around, put them in here, and that's another 24. So now we've got 48 items per second. We can't do it from this side because this is a 1-to-1. So if we take 6 out, we need to put 6 in. So that's this 3 and then out of the side of this and into there, which is kind of janky because that's going to leave us less room for farming, but you know, whatever it is. Or we could also have 2 farms. We could have a farm here and a farm there, but we don't want to do that because we want to minimize the amount of workers we spend. So here we go. So theoretically, all we need is a massive production bonus, and we've got 6. We got 12 shirts per second coming out. 12. That's 12 shirts per second coming out using a total of 3 workers. Okay? I want you to think about that for a sec. 12 shirts a second is way more than we are going to ever need for the system, for the actual system. Presumably, I believe 12 shirts more than we're going to need. I mean, we're doing it right here. Like, this is pretty well backed up. We could actually reduce the timer on this because I feel like these shirts aren't fully used up, fully supplied. Fabric, yeah, 90 out of 100. So let's take that down to 15. But yeah, 20 every 15 seconds. That's just over 1 per second. So with 3 workers, we can produce 12 per second. Now, what do we need to make this work other than a bunch of magic conveyor belts? We need productivity boost through the roof. Not these Omnistone upgrades. We could use them as well, but they're crap. They're just a straight 40%, so that goes up to 350%. Not what we want. The actual infinite research is a multiplicative. So basically, 300% would go to 345% because it's being multiplied by an extra 15%. So that's the good sort of stuff. And of course, remember that this productivity bonus is going to go through the roof as well. So I don't think the building speed is going to be a problem. I think the building speed has no limit. Now, the other problem is the grain, but we also have infinite research for the grain regrowth speed. So we could get that done as well. We can completely surround this with grain, get infinite grain research speed, and there we go. 3 workers taking care of shirts. So if we say, we got 50 goods, right? 50, 5 times 10. If each one of them takes an average of 10 workers, then we're using 500 workers and we've got 500 to spare for all of the other miscellaneous crap we need to do, like these things and rails and magic conveyor belts and research and blah blah blah. I think that's very doable. Okay, I think that's exceptionally doable. And I think that should probably be our focus, actually, because look at this system right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this has got 10 workers. And it's doing all right. It's doing a good job, but shirts are very easy to make. Now we go over to this system, which is leather, which is just pure leather. And this is keeping up. It's doing a pretty good job. This probably needs to be increased as well. Oh, it's already at 10. Man, all right, we need some more line cards here. But this is 1, 2, so this is 18. 18 workers. And they're all at 1 worker. So this needs to be, if we multiply 18 by 50, we're at 900. Is that right? Yeah, it's 900. 900 workers. And then we've got down here, which is cloaks, which we're doing okay on. We could probably improve those as well. Could we improve those? Yeah, we'll put them down to 25. That's probably a good idea. Because that was actually, yeah, that needs a bit of help. But this, I mean, if we count this is 5, 10, 15, 20, 30. So that's way over budget. That's way over budget. Okay. So these are the sort of things we have to get our handle on. So I think my focus is going to have to be infinite research and magic rails. Magic rails need to happen at some point. We need to replace the inner circle, and it might be nice to replace everything, but at least the inner circle needs to be fixed. Because we're talking about more capacity. We don't really care about more capacity down here. This is speed, but it doesn't really matter too much. We can just add more minecarts. But in the middle is when we need to worry about being overwhelmed by too many minecarts. So that will definitely be magic railed up. So yeah, so that's it. So magic rails and then infinite research. Wow, this is hovering in midair. Look at the shadow on it. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Yeah, because the thing is, this is the perfect design right here. I mean, yeah, I'm going to say perfect design. Magic conveyor belts, farm, blah, blah, blah. We need this productivity, increase speed. And we need the grain, increase speed. And we could probably do both of them. We could select multiple recipes, and then we could just say, go nuts. But we need the infinite research. That's what we need. So that's what I'm going to focus on. I think the main thing I'm going to focus on. So we already got an Omnistone set up. We're going to go over here. We got a fair bit of room over here, this square. I'm not putting the purple stuff is all going down. Might put some of it up at some point, but for now we got a decent amount of space over here. And remember, all of these setups are going to get smaller, so I don't have to worry too much about the room anymore. So yeah, got to get a good setup for everything we need for the Omni thing. The Omni, what's it? And yeah, that's going to be what we do. Get the infinite research, get all of that stuff done, and then we'll start to build more setups, but they're going to be smaller and they're going to be incredibly fast, and they're going to deliver all of the goods that we need without breaking the worker budget. And I think once we get to that point, we'll be fine. We can finish off the rest of the Megabase. We actually do it a lot faster once we've got all of that stuff. We won't have to do any of these. Like, look at this setup. This just for books, man. This is big. This is quite a big setup. And it's probably using tons of workers as well. 8, 16, to 20, 30. That's 30 workers right there. And then a couple more for the other ones. So no wonder we're going over budget. So anyway, gonna finish that off. Finish this off. Hopefully I'm gonna get the Omni temple down. I'm gonna have a closer look at the infinite research. I'm going to verify whether or not the infinite the regrowth applies to trees, and more importantly, ore. Okay, We know it applies to grain because that was pretty clear. If it doesn't apply to ore or trees, then we may be in a problem. Okay, then we have to think. We have to come up with a solution. If it applies to both of those, to the regrowth speed of ore and trees, then we're fine. Then we're beautiful. Then the Megabase should be 100% doable. Should not be a problem. So we just need to go forward and actually implement all the stuff at that point. So that should be fine. But anyway, this has been an update. I need to go and eat breakfast, and it's 11:30, so I really need to eat breakfast. I've left it way too long. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. I will see you guys later. Have a good one.